Hello, I'm Nikki Newman. This is my official YouTube channel. Please subscribe and support us.
The Young and the Restless. Spoilers full. Welcome back to our channel, Y&R fam. Today is a beautiful day to grab a massive cup of coffee and unpack the absolute insanity that just went down in Genoa City. We have so much to talk about, so let's just jump right in. I am literally typing this up at 2 a.m. because I cannot sleep and I need to get this out of my system right now. I cannot believe they are doing this. Are you kidding me right now? I mean, I have been watching since 2015, and this is honestly the wildest, most twisted, and maybe the best thing they've done in years. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, back to the point. But seriously, the fact that they are actually setting up a Phyllis Summers and Sharon Newman team up over Diane Jenkins, my mind is completely blown. I am half celebrating and half complaining because the sheer audacity of the writers to put these three women in the same orbit under these circumstances is just pure soap opera gold. And I know some people are loving this, but personally, I am just terrified of how they are going to execute it while also being entirely obsessed. So let's talk about Diane, because Diane Jenkins Abbott has been missing for weeks, and we finally know where she is, and it is a literal nightmare. She didn't just run off because she was mad at Jack. Oh, no. She is currently being held hostage in this creepy, barred room by a totally corrupt, shady psychiatrist named Dr. Lawrence Markham. And who is pulling the strings? Patty Williams. Yes, Patty freaking Williams. I'm sorry, but can we talk about how unhinged Patty is right now? She actually paid off this quack doctor to lock Diane up, gaslight her into thinking she had a severe mental breakdown, and then Patty has the nerve to show Jack a staged photo of his wife unconscious in a padded cell. Like, the level of evil here is off the charts. But it gets worse, because Patty isn't just locking Diane away for fun. She is using her as leverage to blackmail Jack Abbott for sex. She literally looked Jack in the face and demanded they recreate the magic they had on the yacht. Vomit. I mean, Jack is absolutely terrified, furious, and panicking, and Kyle is running around completely clueless, defending his mother's work ethic to Detective Burrow, while Diane is literally trapped in a house with Psycho. Am I the only one who feels physically sick watching Patty manipulate Jack like this? She is so deeply obsessed with him, and she will stop at nothing. She thinks getting rid of Diane and forcing Jack into bed will magically make him love her. It is so delusional. Nobody in Genoa City likes Patty, and nobody actually believes she is cured of her mental illness. And thank God for Tracy Abbott, because Tracy is the only one in that family with a working brain right now. Tracy literally caught Patty in the park handing over an envelope of cash to Dr. Markham. She saw it with her own eyes. And instead of just screaming, Tracy is actually playing psychological mind games with Patty. She is using the threat of sending Patty back to the mental facility to squeeze the truth out of her. I love Tracy so much. She is fiercely loyal and surprisingly manipulative when she needs to protect her family. But even Tracy doesn't know the full extent of the danger Diane is in. Because this Dr. Markham guy, he is not just a greedy doctor. There is a massive, terrifying twist coming. And I am kind of dreading it, but also entirely here for it. Okay, hold on to your hats, because this is where my brain exploded. What if Dr. Lawrence Markham is actually Martin Laurent? Yes, Martin Laurent, the psycho who kidnapped Sharon and Phyllis. Because think about it. Martin was arrested, but nobody knows exactly where he is right now. And we all know Patty Williams has a very long, very dark history with plastic surgery and stealing identities. Remember when they tried this with Emily Peterson? Yeah, Patty literally stole Emily's face. So what if Patty helped Martin get plastic surgery to look exactly like Dr. Markham? It makes perfect sense. Diane woke up grabbed a letter opener to defend herself. And what did she see on the bookshelf? Books by Dr. Alan Laurent. The clues are all there. People! And this brings me to the absolute best part of this entire storyline. The trauma bond between Phyllis Summers and Sharon Newman. Because if Markham is Martin, there are only two women in Genoa City who truly understand the sheer terror of what Diane is going through. Phyllis and Sharon were held hostage by Martin in that clinic. They lived through that psychological torture. They survived his freaky mind games, and they saved each other's lives. That kind of shared trauma doesn't just go away. It leaves permanent scars. And even though Sharon and Phyllis fight like cats and dogs on a normal Tuesday, they have this unbreakable, unspoken bond now. They know exactly what it's like to be trapped against their will by that absolute monster. I mean, let's be real about Phyllis for a second. Phyllis Summers completely despises Diane Jenkins. She hates her guts. She hates her because of Jack. She hates her history. She just hates her. And Summer hates her too. But as much as Phyllis hates Diane, she hates Patty Williams even more. Let's not forget that Patty poisoned Phyllis's daughter Summer years ago. Phyllis has never, ever forgotten that. And more importantly, the trauma of what Martin Laurent did to her is way stronger than her petty rivalry with Diane. If Phyllis catches even a whiff that Martin is back and using Patty to torture another woman, she is going to go absolute scorched earth. She will not let that man win again. She is going to team up with Sharon, and they are going to hunt him down like the dog he is. And then there's Sharon. My poor, sweet, traumatized Sharon. She has been living in sheer terror lately just because Victor moved Matt Clark onto the Newman Ranch. Her mental health has been so fragile, but Sharon is also a therapist. She has a professional and moral responsibility to help anyone who is being abused by a mental health professional. It is literally her job. Plus, she knows Diane isn't actually mentally ill like Patty is. Sharon knows what it feels like to have your reality twisted by a sick doctor who is supposed to be helping you. She is not going to sit back and let Diane be drugged and gaslit by Martin Laurent or Markham or whoever this freak is. She is going to tap into that inner warrior, call up Phyllis, and say, we have to do this. We have to save her. So how is this going to play out? I am predicting that Tracy is going to be the ultimate whistleblower. Tracy is going to realize that Patty's doctor friend is a complete fraud, and she is going to take this information to Sharon and Phyllis. Because Jack is way too distracted right now. Jack is panicking over Diane and dealing with Patty's gross sexual blackmail. He can't think straight, and honestly, he is playing right into Patty's hands. But Phyllis and Sharon, they are going to piece the clues together. They are going to hear the name Markham. They are going to look into his background, and they are going to realize it's Martin. And they are going to kick the door down. Can you imagine the epic scene? Diane is in there, terrified, holding a letter opener, completely losing her mind, and suddenly Phyllis and Sharon burst in to save her? Iconic. I am getting chills just thinking about it. But they have to hurry because Diane is in real, actual trouble here. This isn't just a standard soap kidnapping where they sit in a room and monologue at each other for a month. If this doctor starts pumping Diane full of psychotropic drugs to make her actually go crazy, who knows what permanent damage he could do. He is already telling her that Jack authorized this. He is making her think her own husband abandoned her to an asylum. That is pure psychological torture. And Diane is tough, yeah, but nobody is immune to being drugged and gaslit 24/7 inches. A locked room with barred windows. The clock is ticking, and Jack is completely useless right now because he's trying to protect her by playing Patty's twisted game. Somebody has to step up, and it has to be the women who survived this exact same nightmare. I am so invested in this. I know some fans are complaining that Diane doesn't deserve to be rescued by Phyllis and Sharon, but honestly, This is the kind of complex, character-driven storytelling I have been begging for. It forces bitter enemies to find common ground. It brings up past trauma in a way that actually makes sense for the plot. I want to see Phyllis and Sharon become the ultimate heroes of Genoa City. I want to see them drag Martin Laurent out of that house by his hair and throw him in a real prison. I kind of feel bad for Diane, which is a sentence I never thought I would type in my entire life. But here we are. Sometimes you just have to contradict yourself when the story is this good. I am going to be glued to my screen all week. Please tell me I'm not the only one losing my mind over this. Let's hope Sharon and Phyllis can put their capes on and get to that house before Patty does something even more irreversible.